Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now February 8th of 2022, and as we get closer to the release of the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 7, which is going to be the season finale before Disney and Lucasfilm make a big decision on whether or not they want to push forward with the Season 2, which by the way is already in the talks, we have a lot of things happening at the same exact time between George, John, and Dave to really mix together both Star Wars Legends and of course the Disney canon. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So what's even all the more exciting right now is that we are getting very much near to the release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series by this May. We have the marketing run that's going to begin for that show by mid to late March. We have the Bad Batch Season 2 releasing this spring, so early this year, it really is packed with a lot of Star Wars stuff that we are getting. Not just that, but a lot of canon material in the forms of comics and such will be also implemented as well. Now, on top of all of this, we already know that John, George, and Dave are being very ambitious with this new universe by really using a lot of scrapped ideas from the sequel trilogy, a lot of scrapped ideas from Star Wars Legends that will now be revived, as well as taking a lot of highlights from the existing Legends content. So, with that being said, obviously, we already know that Star Wars as a whole is really becoming something very unique right now under John, George, and Dave's wing. They are all working together as this trio with other creators by their side like Deborah Chow, Peyton Reed, and others out there that have really been doing a great job on all of these different shows. Now, when we go ahead and look at everything related to The Mandalorian as a series, what's even all the more exciting is exactly what they have planned for Luke Skywalker in the show. Now, given that the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 is now in the talks between Disney and Lucasfilm, they are currently waiting to greenlight the next season until they see the fan reception from the upcoming finale tomorrow. Both John and Dave Filoni, however, are doing incredible things for The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4 when it involves Luke Skywalker. Now, it's noted that Jon Favreau will be using many of his original ideas from Rangers of the New Republic that will now be used in The Mandalorian Season 4 in 2023. Further, it's noted that one major scene is set to be in the form of a flashback when Luke Skywalker speaks to newcomer Kyle Katarn as one of his new Jedi students in the Mandoverse. The flashback is set to involve a moment in which Luke Skywalker is on the world of Jakku, where he lands down on the surface with his X-Wing and steps out, telling nearby villagers to go inside. This is when Luke Skywalker begins to take out his hand and focuses through the ways of the Force to take down an incoming Star Destroyer that is actually planning to use a legion of TIE bombers to wreck a village. Now, the description of this Star Destroyer is said to be a First Order prototype that will be seen in, of course, the Battle of Jakku sequence. Now, let me just stop right here for one moment because this is a very interesting thing that they are doing. John and Dave seem to be making flashbacks a standard in the Mandoverse from this point forward. I think that the way that they let it all out in the Book of Boba was a big deal. We had that also in The Mandalorian, seeing the flashbacks of Din Djarin as a child. And now we're getting a lot of that with Grogu, and we're going to be getting it later on in The Mandalorian Season 3 now with Luke Skywalker. And this was an original idea, believe it or not, for Rangers of the New Republic, that we were going to have Luke taking down this destroyer on the surface of Jakku. It was also something that was supposed to appear in the sequel trilogy. We'll get to that in just a second. Now, the thing about this is that they will be using a lot of revolutionary technology to really make it seem very realistic, as if it comes straight from a big-budget Star Wars movie. Now, on top of this, the scene is described to be something that both J.J. Abrams and even Rian Johnson wanted to do in their movies, but felt that it made Luke feel way too overpowered, and those scenes were deleted from their scripts. However, now John and Dave are picking up on those ideas and reforming them. One key moment is set to involve Ahsoka Tano, where she is said to engage in battle on the other side of the desert. At this point in time, however, both Luke and Ahsoka have not met yet and don't know each other. The entire scene is already storyboarded and finalized to be used in the script for Mando Season 4, as Jon and Dave want to keep using the concept of flashbacks in their universe. R2-D2 is also set to get another moment in the scene, watching the destroyer fall into the sands of Jakku, creating a tidal wave of sand coming toward the village. Now, I gotta say, I mean, when you look at everything related to, Jakku as a planet, yes, it is very Tatooine-like, I get that. People are getting bored of the desert worlds. But this is a great opportunity to give the fans and to allow them to witness the final fall, the final defeat of the Empire once and for all before they scatter across the entire galaxy. So, I don't know if you guys know about the canon, but the Battle of Jakku was the Empire's last stand. This was their big final battle against the rebellion, and they lost. And it's going to be quite an experience to see this in live-action form. So far, we only know about it in the form of Battlefront 2's video game, as well as in the books. That's pretty much all we know about the Battle of Jakku so far. We have yet to have seen anything related to it in live-action form. Yes, we do see the remnants of the Battle of Jakku in The Force Awakens, but other than that, nothing in live action. So this will be a great opportunity for Jon and Dave to really show Luke Skywalker using his power in all his might. Now, moving from this, alright, this is where yet another key scene comes into play, where Luke is set to use the Force to block the sand wall from hitting the village and sets it all down in front of them. The scene is set to use intense CGI as well as practical effects, and that they will be using Skywalker in the form of CGI for the sequence again. In the background, the explosion of the Star Destroyer is described to be enormous, and that Dave and Jon are taking notes from the Battlefront 2 video game to make the Battle of Jakku an intense one as ever on screen. The scene will even feature some rebels fighting stormtroopers on the sands of Jakku, where this is all taking place 1 year after the Battle of Endor, and described to be the final defeat of the Empire. Jon and Dave are looking to making this scene just as long as the scene in Book of Boba between Luke and Grogu. They want to make it a battle just as long as other battles in the actual movies. Concept art for the scene has also already been developed that will be used as reference material for the official script. Let me just say one thing about this. This is exactly how Luke should be used at least once in the Mandoverse. Now, I agree. You don't want to make Luke feel way too overpowered to the point where it's ridiculous. And I will admit that in Legends, it got a little ridiculous. And not that I necessarily hated it, it just seemed a little out of place at times. It was still obviously way better than what we got in the sequels. But that's what Jon and Dave are great at doing. They know the balance. How much is too much, how much is too little, what's too strong, what's too weak. And that's what they really are skilled in. It's exactly why Luke works in Mando Season 2. It's why Luke works in the Book of Boba Fett. They knew the balance. What was too long, what was too short. And I think that when you look at everything related to this particular scene of how it is going to be in the form of a flashback, alright? So this is going to be reformed where Luke Skywalker is essentially showing Kyle Katarn what happened to the Empire through his perception. So Kyle Katarn, in case you guys did not know, that is one of his Jedi Padawans that will, of course, grow up into a great Jedi student by the time The Mandalorian Season 4 arrives. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy. You know, we already know that they are planning to give him 3 separate temples in the Mandoverse. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.